Welcome to a little bit of an impromptu match day preview. It's Atlanta United, it's Club America, Scotiabank, CONCACAF Champions League quarterfinal, second leg, Atlanta United trailing 3-0. We don't have an official radio pregame tonight, so Mike and I are hanging out with you on Twitch, on the Soccer Down Here app, on soccerdownhere.net. We'll take you up to 10 minutes before kickoff. Kickoff is supposed to be right at 8 o'clock, right, Mike?
As far as I know, yeah. Sorry about no radio tonight. They told us we couldn't do it because Jason and I, unfortunately, have both been diagnosed with CCL fever.
I don't want to know what the symptoms are of CCL fever.
Oh, you know what the symptoms are.
I want no part of that.
Lots of send-offs and arguments with the referee and goals, and second-choice lineups from big clubs. That's CCL fever. But not tonight. Not tonight. We're going to have – I think I like this Atlanta United lineup, but we were debating on stoppage time, was it going to be as first choice as they could get? Was it going to be put the kids in? Would it be a hybrid? I feel like this is about as first choice as they can go. The only mild surprise for me – I guess maybe two mild surprises. I'm a little surprised Remedi gets the start in the holding midfield over. I thought Mateus Ozatu might get a look there tonight, but I mean, not a shock. I thought Kubo Torres would start tonight just because, again, he's doing the club a solid. He's out of contract, but he decided to stick around to help them out through however long this Champions League thing goes, but they're going to start Adam John instead. That's totally fine. But other than that, if you look at it, 1 through 11, considering all the injuries and the limitations and everything in play right now, this is about as first choice as Glassy can go. So I like the philosophy. I like the mindset for him tonight.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the lineup at all. Brad Gazan in goal. The back line is what we expected without Brooks Lennon in the mix. Franco Escobar slides over to right back. Meza and Robinson at center back. George Bello at left back. We'll see how the midfield shapes out. I mean, I'm assuming Barco will be central with Remedi and Hindman behind him. Hindman or Remedi both can jump forward and help out. I mean, the wild card would be, and we need to see a little bit of Eric Lopez. He's played a lot of striker. He's played a lot as a second striker. Does he come inside and tuck in and open up some space for Barco to push out wide? I think that's a possibility. Mulroney, we know what he brings with his pace out on the flank. And then Adam John up top. You just got to feed him, and he's got to stay central to receive that service as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really eager to see Lopez tonight. I mean, that now really stands out for me as what I'm specifically going to be watching for in about half an hour, because he's got a tremendous reputation based on a very limited sample size professionally. Now he's going to get a chance with teammates that, as far as we know, he's been training with for a little bit. As far as we know, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, Lopez was training with the first team in the final weeks of the MLS regular season.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Just couldn't play because of the paperwork thing. Okay, so I don't think this is going to be awkward. Like, is Eric Lopez going to have any chemistry with the rest of this lineup? I think they've had plenty of time to figure out if he does or not, because he has had those opportunities to train. And the other thing I like about this, Jason, is you do have options if you're Stephen Glass on the bench where you can do things tactically to try to pull a goal or two, get back into this match. Mm-hmm. But the other thing I do like about this, and I don't want this to be misinterpreted in any way, but I think we need to be a little bit realistic about the position that Atlanta United is in, down 3-0 on aggregate. Glassy is also going to have the self-destruct button available. Not self-destruct, but the That's harsh, but he can say, you know what, we're down 2-0 in the 60th minute. Let's play the kids.
Yeah.
And he can do it all at once if he wants. I like the fact that he has that option too. That's what's going to make this match very interesting to watch. But I think with this group, boy, Jason, I mean, if you could get an early goal tonight, if you could get a goal in the first 10 minutes with this group, I think it's game on really, really quickly down there because that back line is solid, and you're solid in goal with Brad Guzan. And Remedi's going to give you, I hopefully, enough safety in the midfield where he doesn't make some of the mistakes we saw from him in the MLS season. And you could be able to really suffocate Club America and then hit on counters with this group.
Yeah, the defense is good. I mean, your first choice in the back. Yeah, Brooks Lennon can play on the right. You can slide things around, but you're your first choice. Remedi has a lot in front of him tonight. He has to be solid because this is a big game for, I think, his standing, to be perfectly honest. This is a big game for him to impress the incoming manager and earn more time because he's going to be in competition with Heineman, with Hosetu, with Moreno, potentially with an addition, with Mo Adams. Like, it's going to be very crowded in that part of the field. Remedi has some work to do to improve that positioning and that standing. A lot of people on the Twitch pitch are very excited to see Eric Lopez tonight for the first time. First game in Atlanta, first game played since early February. Yeah. First game started since going back to the U23s for Paraguay in the Olympic qualifying tournament. It's not pressure on him. I think just a lot of people are excited. I hope the expectations are realistic. He's going to be a little rusty. He's not going to be sharp. I don't think anybody is. And that's what I'm curious to see from the jump. If you guys have questions, first off, send them in on the Twitch pitch. Send them in via Twitter as well, at MikeConti929 at Longshoe. But my tactical idea here is going to be you're not going to be sharp. The passing's not going to be crisp. You know, you haven't played since November 8th. So up the tempo, use what you can do, and we know Adam John is going to work hard up top. Lopez is young. Barco is young. Mulroney's fast. Press. Make it difficult for Club America to build up anything out of the back. If they decide to start skipping the lines because of that, then you've got to win with your back four, which you should, and Remedi and Heineman have to gobble up that second ball and move forward quickly. Speed it up. Make it a little frantic. Maybe that'll throw Club America off because they haven't played in about 3 weeks. It's a weird match all the way around. Whoever finds some kind of footing, something that is working, will have the advantage. But whoever does that first, you have to figure out how to do that on a weird night where, you know, both teams have some different faces in the lineup, and both teams are going to be figuring it out as you go.
You know what's interesting? As you describe the way that Atlanta United needs to play tonight, speedy, counter-pressing, connected, whose style does that fit?
Well,
from a managerial and tactical standpoint.
Well, there's a guy.
It's just awfully coincidental, is it not? I mean, and look, for no other reason than just we know what the rumors are, but, you know, if that's the style that they have to play tonight, then we're going to get an early taste of what Atlanta United, in theory, is going to look like in 2021 if Heinze is indeed the manager, as has been reported. Yeah. That's very, very intriguing. I wish he had Jurgen Damm. I really do wish he had.
And he is not available tonight at all.
Not even available for selection. I don't even know if he went to Orlando, to be honest with you. That's a weird situation. They made Jurgen Damm available to the media on Monday, and now he's not even available for selection, which I don't know if that means something happened between Monday and now. I guess that's something we could assume, but I'm not positive.
Yeah.
But that would have been really, really neat to see. And it's something we're going to see a lot, hopefully, in 2021. Lopez and Dom both bombing down opposite wings. That's going to be almost an unbelievable speed advantage for Atlanta United when it comes to facing MLS opponents. So it would have been fun to see that. I think Mulroney is going to be just fine. He was your solid choice at right wing tonight. I think Tyler Wolff probably works his way in as a sub if Mulroney doesn't have it going tonight. You could put Jackson Conway in as a second striker and kind of change the shape of things up top as well. I think that's an option. That's where I think it's going to be an interesting tactical matchup between Miguel Herrera and Stephen Glass tonight. And, it's interesting, Jason, as much as we talk about tonight being important for Eric Remedi to potentially show some things to Heinze, potentially important for any younger players who might get into the mix later in this match tonight. I think Stephen Glass also has an opportunity tonight to match wits against a manager who has aspirations to go to Europe, maybe manage in Spain or somewhere else in Europe. Mm-hmm. And I think Glassy's up for it. I don't think he looks at it necessarily as an audition, but I think he's going to embrace that challenge tonight. And I can't wait to see how he matches up with El Piojo.
A couple of administrative things that have come up for questions. Who took my thrash ask about VAR. There is no VAR. No VAR in CONCACAF competitions as of yet. I think they're working to add that for 21, and if not, then 22, where it looks like they might expand the tournament a little bit. It is 5 subs. Matt Wagner asked that one. I think you'll probably use all 5. You'll probably need all 5 because of just the conditions you're dealing with here and the situation with players having not played since November 8th. And it does feel like a match day when we get Johannes dropping some knowledge on the Twitters. We'll give it a little drum roll.
Let me guess. It has something to do with the average age of the lineup.
It does not. He might have that, but I've got one tweet specifically. 3 players have scored a goal on their club debut in MLS play, hoping that Eric Lopez adds his name to that list tonight in CONCACAF Champions League.
Okay, scoring in their club debut. George Bello, I think, is one of them.
Yeah, right? Bello's one. You'd have to. Yamil Assad would have to be because it was everybody's debut.
Everyone's club debut that night. Oh boy, the third.
I know. I don't know who it is.
Justin Miram?
Maybe.
Did Miram play in that Houston game?
I don't remember.
He might have been in before that. Because they went and got Mo Adams after the Breck Shea injury. Would have been Mo Adams, right? That LAFC match wasn't his club debut, was it?
I think it was.
Well,
I think it's Mo Adams. Then. Yeah, I think it's Mo.
Mo Adams? Johannes, if you're watching or listening, help us out. That's a great stat. Okay, Bello for sure. I remember that clear as day.
Yeah, Bello and Assad are definites, and I think it's Mo. I think you're right.
Okay. Well, go ahead, young Lopez. Go ahead, young Eric. Let's get it done tonight.
Would love to see it.
Moreno darn near did it against New York Red Bulls.
Yeah.
By the way, that's intriguing, too. I mean, can you imagine, Jason, let's just play a what-if for a second.
Okay.
Like, let's say you get one early tonight. You get to halftime 1-0. You get one early in the second half, it's 2-0. And then you could bring on Marcelino Moreno.
Yeah, not bad.
This is going to be really, really fun to watch. It's like we talked about on Stoppage Time today. I hate using the phrase moral victory, but I am trying to be realistic about the situation tonight. You're down 3-0. This is your home leg, which means if you concede, you're going to have to score 5 at least. I mean, this is going to be really, really tough. I do not want to see Atlanta United embarrassed tonight. I don't think they will be. Anything beyond that, competitive loss, draw, a win, or an advancement is going to be a positive. You know, if you lose but you're competitive, or if you draw and you're competitive, you get to go home and have 6 weeks off, and no one got hurt. That's a good thing. If you win in advance, that's a great thing.
That's an epic thing.
Now you're 2 wins away from a continental championship. And you could even play LAFC, who I would kind of like their chances against in the semifinal this weekend. But let's not go that far. Atlanta United earned a lot of respect with the way they played against Club America in the Campeones Cup last year, with not a completely 100% first-choice lineup, by the way.
Nope.
And they earned a lot of respect with the way that they played against Monterrey in the second leg at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Atlanta United and Liverpool were the only 2 teams to beat Monterrey in a 90-minute international competition last year. A lot of people forget that. So Atlanta United didn't get run off the pitch at the Azteca. Let's just remember that right now. They had a bad 20 minutes. They got hit by a golazo. They had a rough 20 minutes. The second half, Atlanta United controlled. If Atlanta United plays well tonight, and we can come out of this, Jason, saying, yeah, Club America went through, but Atlanta United controlled 3 of the 4 halves against Club America, I'm fine with that. Everyone's a winner. Club America moves on, and we can feel good about the way that Atlanta United played against these guys.
Shiva asked a question. Do you think if Joseph was 80% ready, he would have played?
No.
Yeah, I don't either. I think he would have had to have been back before the end of the season. I mean, he would have had to have been no question 100%. If there's any question, he wouldn't have played. And it looks like he's doing well. I mean, recovery looks good.
He could be 95% for all we know. I mean, if we have been told, if you were on that season ticket holder town hall in November, we have been told Joseph is on schedule for 2021. So there's been no setback or anything like that. He could be 99% right now. But I think what Darren Eales said on the radio with Dukes and Bell yesterday is really, really important. They don't want to take any chances that they believe would be unnecessary. Now, Shiva, if Atlanta United were up 1-0, like say they got a road goal at the Azteca and they were in position to advance, we might be having a different conversation.
Totally agree.
But I think, look, you're down 3-0. Darren said they're not going to take any unnecessary risks with players who they're going to need in 2021. I think that's, to a large degree, why you don't see Jurgen Damm selected tonight. So I think short of being in advancing position, you would not have seen Joseph Martinez tonight.
Yeah, and per Shiva, I've not gone through the pictures. She said that Dom did go. He is in the pictures. Okay. Maybe it was a fitness test. I mean, because there was a question about him. We didn't expect him to start. I thought he'd be available. But if there was any question, you hold him. You don't play him in something like this. You've got to make sure he's 100% ready to go because, look, you're back in CONCACAF next year. And that's going to start, according to CONCACAF, at the normal time, which means you're going to have probably a short training camp because you got to deal with the Players Association to be able to get into camp as early as possible. That's why I know there was consternation about, they shouldn't have got in because it's from the 2019 Open Cup and blah, 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 blah. You've got, at a minimum, 2 games that are scheduled before anybody else, and there is no telling what preseason looks like in 2021. So you take it, you run, you make the best of it. That'll be the first opportunity for the new manager. You make the best of it, and you want everybody healthy to be able to do that. If you draw, for example, a team that is qualified now, Real Esteli from Nicaragua, you draw them in the first round, you can play your way through that. You can knock some rust off in that series, and no disrespect, but that's a club and that's a league in Nicaragua that they would have problems competing against USL championship level teams. So if you get that draw, cool, you could find a way into the quarterfinals, and by that point, you're in sync a little bit. It could get really, really interesting. Matty Iced says, would love to see Moreno and Torres subbed in by the beginning of the second half. I wouldn't be shocked to see subs at halftime, would you?
No, not at all. No, because, again, you get 5. If you only got 3, it might change the dynamic a little. I think match state, though, is going to have a lot to do with it. And this is where it gets really, really interesting. It's almost counterintuitive. Tell me what you think, Jason. If Atlanta United and Club America are 1-1 at halftime, but Atlanta United's in control, I could actually see a situation where Glassy would stand pat because Atlanta United's in control of the match. Conversely, if Atlanta United's up 2-0 going into the second half, I actually could see him making halftime subs because now you feel like you can get it. You know, and I think whether or not Atlanta United concedes in the first half tonight might kind of hold the key to Glassy's whole approach from a substitution standpoint. We have seen Glassy let it ride when he has felt that his team has control of the match, sometimes disregarding the scoreline. And I think he might end up doing that tonight. But I think he's also going to be very cognizant of, hey, you know, we're up 2-0. We got a chance. Let's go for it. Even if you're up 1-0, going into the second half. You're in a go-for-it spot. And then you are absolutely right, Matty Ice. I mean, then you have Moreno. You have Kubo. It's a heck of a spot for Jackson Conway, but you've got him. It's a heck of a spot for Tyler Wolf, but you have him. And then Glassy can really get aggressive and really, really go for it. I think it's going to be very fascinating to see how he handles it. You also have the ability, too. You could go to 3 in the back. You've got so many. It's a shame, again, that Jürgen Damm is not selected, but you have so many different options within the group that you have on the bench where you can go to 3 in the back if you have to. You can go to 5 in the back if you have to. Jack Gurr could be a part of this in the second half tonight. So many different options for Glassy.
Yeah, a few different people hoping to see Gurr. Watched him with Atlanta United too and how well he did there. I'd love to see him get the opportunity. I think Ricky Ricardo figured out the trivia question. Jacob Peterson is the one who scored in his debut. He didn't play in Game 1, and he scored in Minnesota in Game 2.
Yeah. Okay, that might be it. So it wasn't Mo Adams then.
Yeah, I thought it was Mo. Unless he's leaving Yamil Assad out because that was everybody's debut, which Johannes could be.
Well, you know what? I'm going to take another question here. I'm going to look up this Mo Adams game log right now.
Okay. We got about 7 minutes, so I think you can pull that one off. Yeah, for those of you who are kind of wondering how this is all going to go, so games on FS2, broadcast time there. They announced it last night at 7:56. That probably mean kickoff is going to be right at 8 o'clock. You can also watch on... Yeah, CONCACAF is usually right on the hour. 2DN also has the game as well. I believe you can watch on both of their streaming services on the Fox Sports app and on 2DN.com or 2DN Extra. I'll be back for a post game anyway. About 10:20, I've got to record a hit for our friend Daniel Feuerstein and his podcast. He covers CONCACAF really, really intensely. So I'm going to record a quick post game with him. We'll be back just on Twitch for that post game, only twitch.tv/soccer down here at 10:20. And I'll take questions as long as you have them. And then we'll have an overreaction Thursday tomorrow morning on SDH. And I'm sure there will be reactions. No matter what happens tonight, even knowing the situation, there will be reactions to Eric Lopez. There will be reactions, hopefully, to Jackson Conway, to Jack Gurr, maybe to Philip Goodrum, some players that you might not be quite as familiar with, and reactions to how the match goes.
Yeah, like I said, I just don't want to see them get embarrassed. Anything short of that, I'll feel a lot better going into this offseason. I don't expect them to get embarrassed tonight. The Mo Adams thing, LAFC was his first start with Atlanta United.
But not his debut.
Not his debut. He was subbed on against Houston, played 13 minutes, did not score. So I think, who was it? Topka who said Jacob Peterson?
It was Ricky.
Ricky Ricardo. I think you got it.
Yeah.
I think you got it,
That's
Ricky
a good
Ricardo.
shout. I forgot about Jacob Peterson in that one. Let's see. Badger wants to know what weaknesses does Club America have that Atlanta United could or should exploit. When you go through their starting lineup, it's pretty first choice. I mean, it's a lot of guys that we saw back in March. Leo Suarez, back in his Sebastian Cordova, one of their top players, had a great season. He's starting. Santiago Cáceres played well this season. Richard Sanchez was one of their top players this year. If there's some weaknesses, it's in the back. A couple of defenders who haven't played a ton. Ramon Juarez, 19. He started 5 times in the Apertura. Didn't play all that well. Alfonso Escoboza started 5 times in the Apertura, made 11 appearances, was okay. Good passer, actually. Knocked in some assists. And up top, Roger Martinez, who was on his way out of the club, according to the president in an interview with 2DN a couple weeks ago. He only started 6 times this year, played in 11 games. Didn't really perform all that well. Had 1 goal and 1 assist. He's been their top guy. I mean, does he come in with something to prove? Or does he come in like, why am I here? That's right. the unknown thing about a player like Martinez. Barguin is not starting, but it looks like he's on his way out. there will be changes in Club America's team because even though they finished third, they're not happy with getting knocked out at the quarterfinal stage by Chivas. That's not where they want to be. So they've already talked about making some changes. I think they've already got a couple signings set for the Apertura, and for them, the Apertura starts second weekend in January. It's pretty quick.
Pretty soon. Yeah, I think if there was one general, it's not a weakness, but just something to look for with Club America is I agree with Miles Robinson and Jurgen Damm. They're under pressure. They've got everything to lose tonight. So I think more from a mental standpoint, there might be a concern for Club America tonight. That's why I think, again, it's really important to hit them early if you can.
Yep.
Boy, if you could get a goal in the first 10 minutes or just be in control, get into dangerous spots, make Ochoa make a save or two. I just think Club America, from a confidence standpoint, might get rattled a little more easily than an Atlanta United side that comes into this with absolutely nothing, literally nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. You don't go through tonight? Merry Christmas. See you all in January. It's okay. Doesn't change anything about this season. Because, again, for a long time, we were thinking this tournament might not even resume.
Yeah.
So Atlanta United's got nothing to lose. Club America's got everything to lose. That is a spot that would make me very, very nervous if I were a Club America fan.
Yeah, I wonder where the attitude is for the Club America fans and kind of how they feel about this competition. They've got to hold this lead. They've been here and done this before. I don't think they're in any way intimidated about it. But if they give up a goal early, does that rock them a bit? And that's going to be the best way for Atlanta to pull something off, is an early goal. I think it's playing fast. I think it's taking chances in the first 15, 20 minutes, understanding that you're going to have some giveaways, understanding that you got to build some chemistry on the pitch with Barco and Lopez and Mulroney and John. We'll see how they pull it off. I guess the big thing for me, outside of an early goal, is the leadership in the back. You're going to have to see, as this game gets difficult, Escobar, Meza, Robinson really step up and communicate and talk and organize, but also, especially with Meza and Escobar, step up literally on the field and get involved into the midfield and maybe even further. You're going to need to get numbers forward where you can pick your spots. Those are two guys who can do it. I
agree. And I think, again, this might be a captaincy audition for Franco Escobar as well. If Heinze is going to be the guy, I think he's going to lean hard on Escobar in 2021. So, look, you're down 3-0. This is a test of professional pride. I think Atlanta United's going to answer that test tonight. I don't think they're going to go through. I'd be shocked if they went through. But I think they're going to bathe the club in glory tonight, to use one of Darren's phrases.
I like that. That's a good one. Yeah, I don't think it'll be like NYC last night. I think, and this is something you're going to have to see. If you give up a goal early, say you give up a goal on set piece, a deflected thing, whatever, you need to see the fight from opening whistle to final whistle, and if it gets chippy and you have to get physical to not get embarrassed, then that's what you do. You have to do what it takes to defend the badge, and that's what tonight is about. It's also a chance for a lot of players to make a big impression on, somebody who might be watching the match, who might be taking over on the touchline for 2021. I'm assuming he's got a good stream to be able to watch this one wherever he is at. If you're looking to watch it, it's on FS2, it's on 2Day NA, it's on both of their streaming services. We will not be doing anything live on Twitch during the broadcast. The chat room will be open, so if you want to just chat on Twitch, you can do that. There won't be any kind of a stream going. And then we'll be back at about 10:20 with a post-game, take all your questions as long as you need, and then we'll be back for Overreaction Thursday tomorrow. So, Mike, thanks for jumping on short notice. Appreciate it.
No, my pleasure. Have fun.
Your picture froze in just the perfect way, and everybody thought it was like the perfect picture to use for you. It's excellent.
Oh, There's no such thing as a perfect picture for me. Am I unfrozen?
No, you're still frozen.
Oh, geez.
It's all good. Everybody could hear you, and that's the important thing. Thanks to everybody who found us. A lot of new faces on the Twitch pitch. Thank you guys. We'll be back at 10:20 after the game. Hope we have a lot of good things to talk about. Hope we're talking about maybe a little bit of a miracle. You never know. It's a holiday season. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back later.